man of my dreams. Thanks for making it happen, John.
It's the least I can do. You know what's amazing, Gert, is I feel like by the end of this campaign, you're going to feel like you did a pretty good job of writing your character backstory. And if you don't remember what your character backstory was, because you wrote it like a long, long time ago, you should go read it again sometime. Because there's some it's pretty poetic how all this shit's going down. But you'll know about that by the end of this session. Okay, welcome back, everyone. It's been I haven't seen you in a year. Okay. So last time we followed our adventurers through Candlekeep, where they fought their way through sort of a host of Shadowvar agents and spooky specter ghosts to get to the restricted section of the library. Now, this restricted section was super top secret and accessible only through selecting the right text, which would immediately transport you to a trial where you had to fight a being that was very good at fighting magic users. But you were able to best him using Vosner's abilities to enfeeble its mind, rendering its spellcasting ability null. While you worked your way through Candlekeep, you noticed the place had been relatively destroyed, though you did find evidence that you were heading in the right direction when Vosner found in the chair of a or like in the library a clue that had been left for him by the man of his dreams, the man with red eyes, who Vosner has been receiving cryptic missives from for, well, years now. You find yourselves finally through the portal of this trial in the restricted area, a wonderful, beautiful library, very sort of smaller, with a long table and purple carpet. The air itself is sort of infused with colorful light that sort of shimmers as you walk about. And any questions before we go to that scene?
No.
Cool. We are reaching the beginning of the end. This is what you see as you step through the portal. Two figures waiting for you, sitting at the end of a table. A figure that you recognize, Vosner, as the man with the red eyes. He stands up and greets you, dropping his hood, revealing his undead face, his eyes still glowing red, and he says, "Please, take a seat." The man at the end of the table with the bushy white beard, sword slinged over his shoulder, sits. He does not stand when you enter.
Vosner will sit like over here and sort of keep his distance, I guess. A little guarded.
He looks at all of you and says, "I presume you want information. That is why you've come here. I have plenty of that. But before we begin, can you feel it? Can you feel it in the air? The power of this room? 16 people once sat in this room, long, long ago, and planned out the fate of humanity, as we will today. It is a remarkable day." And he smiles at all of you, sort of a toothy but sort of slightly undead, little bit disgusting looking grin.
Who are you?
My name is Larlock. It is good to finally meet you in the flesh.
Larlock. Does Larlock ring a bell? For Vosner?
You can make a history check.
Okay.
Anybody else who wants to see if they know of Larlock can as well.
Oh, I think I should have disadvantage, actually. I'll roll another.
Actually, I'm going to give you advantage anyways because of some reasons.
Okay.
So it works out. Okay. Vosner, you have no idea who this person is. Damon, this is curious to you because Larlock was a name of a very powerful wizard from your time, from when you were wandering around in the Netherese Empire. That was 1500 years ago. Veyril, you recognize this name because it was associated with the figure who at one point found the Staff of Necromancy and gave it to Bread.
Vosner will go. Well, now that you have us here, why have you been reaching out to me?
A good question. One deserving of much explanation. I always knew you would end up here, as did many people who once sat in this room. And I knew it would be up to you, well, you and your friends, as to what you want to do in the future. And I thought it would be my part to help guide you here, looking out for you when I could, keeping your friends alive, and keeping you primed with information relevant to helping you pursue your cause. You were chosen. Not by me, but by others.
By others. Who? Who are these others?
Look at the mark on your body. They chose you. They left their imprint on you. Just as they left their imprint on me. And he holds up his hand. And on his hand is a religious symbol.
Anything I'd
Can we tell
recognize?
whose symbol it is?
Anybody can roll religion.
I'm on it.
Veyril, you can see this is the mark of Bane.
Bane with a B?
Yep, Bane. Who you know to be a god. Same with Terran and Isolde, you both recognize the mark.
I know that Bane is like not a good aligned god though, right?
Correct. You know that Bane is an evil god of order.
The other 16 you mentioned.
How
Who were they?
How rude of me. And he sort of moves his hand towards Shandakul, the figure sitting at the table, so far silent, who stands up and he says, "This is my associate, Shandakul. He was one of the original 16. He has returned to help you." And he nods. He goes, Larlock turns to you and says, "The 16 that you seek to know. Primus, Bahamut, Mistra, Ilmater, Amonitor, Shandakul, of course, Coralon, Saloon, Tempest, Cyric, Lulth, Talona, Shar, Baal, Asmodeus, and Bane. And he points to his hand again. But as he goes through that list, he stops and points at each one of you when he gets to the god that has marked you. Isolde, with your passive perception, you recognize that the seat you chose, just by chance, happens to have some papers in front of it. Just old papers written, but preserved perfectly in time. At the bottom of it, you see signed sort of a agreement, as though this was just one of many notes of sort of bureaucracy passed around between the members of this table. At the bottom, it's signed Ilmater.
Damn. Can I just like make out at a glance kind of like what the subject matter of the notes is?
It concerns the construction, the organization, and the power structure of Bitopia, which you know to be a plane of existence that Ilmater rules over.
Mytopia?
Bitopia.
Bowser, I guess we'll come around the table and sit down.
These 16 you list, where are they now?
Safe, far away, and yet trapped. They reside on their home planes. Well, the planes they made their homes. And you see Shondakul shaking his head when he says that.
Can I like roll an insight check? Like, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He clearly, his face sort of scrunches up at the mention of the other gods, as though he is either displeased with them or does not like them.
Okay.
So what's happened with the gods? Where are they?
Again, safe, far away from any struggle, as they have designed it. Have you ever wondered why Ilmater himself doesn't just come down and save all the orphans? He sort of looks piercingly at Isolde.
Mm-hmm.
Why he sends agents to do his bidding rather than doing it himself. He sort of looks at all of you, waiting.
So are we supposed to just pick up the dirty work that they refuse to do?
It would seem that that's what they want, as they have done this time and time again. This is not the first cataclysmic event that they have avoided. He looks at Isolde and he says, "You exist out of fear."
What do you mean by that?
Fear for their own mortality. If they send you, and you die, it is of no matter. They can just find another. Help someone out a little here or there, answer a prayer, and boom, they have a follower, a servant for life. If they come down, they could risk it all. And then he points to Shandakul, who's nodding in the corner. Not all of them are cowards. Some are brave enough to fight.
Which ones?
He says, the list is short. Shandakul is the only one I know who's come down. The rest sent people in their stead. I'm sorry to reveal this to you, but you're all mere puppets. Chosen for this task because you are well suited for it, but not because they care for you. They only care for themselves.
And yet they care that we accomplish our task. Why?
Because their fate hangs in the balance. If you fail to do what they want, they will never return. Their planes will dissolve, and with it them.
Why? What, how did this come to be? Is the crossing of the plains that powerful?
The planes themselves are an invention of the gods. And he gestures at the paperwork in front of all of you. In front of each of you, not as perfect as it was with Isolde, who sat in Ilmater's chair, but you'll find details, descriptions, ideas, rough sketches of the structure and organization of each plane of existence, each one signed off by a different divine being. They built their homes to be impenetrable fortresses, places of utmost security, divine towers, if you will, places where they could not be killed. What they did not foresee is that someone would just cut off the ties between them and the material plane. This is what makes Shar's plan so devious.
Who's Shaw? Can I make a history check as well?
Yeah,
Some sort of check.
religion's fine too.
Let's try religion. Guess I still have disadvantage.
You know Shar is an evil god, but you don't know much about her.
Okay.
He says, Shar is one of the original 16.
Well, Char's one of the. So, what's Char's plan? To
Shar's,
kill off the rest of their comrades? The rest of the gods? Some sort of vengeance?
Shar's plan is to rule over the material plane in the flesh, but to sever all of the other planes while she's at it. And it worked. At least, it's almost completely worked.
I guess we're that last loose thread.
Precisely. And by design.
On the paperwork in front of me, is there any discussion of the way that this domain is connected to the material plane?
Yeah, give me, let's see, some sort of check. I'll say, I mean, you can do perception just to look for papers in the area that correspond to this paper. I think what you'd find is that, yeah, okay, with a 20, you find that all of these papers are sort of written and there's descriptions, drawings of how they work together. But you can see now that if you sort of assemble all of the papers on the table, each piece of paper sort of has part of its geometry that connects up with another part, and you start to see how these pieces of paper all connect together, forming a circle. And as you sort of look around the room and see all these pieces intertwined, you notice that frequently on the papers you see reference to the ley line. That the point of connection between the plane and the material, the various planes and the material plane, is at this point called a ley line.
Got it.
You say this is all by design. Did the other gods know of Shar's plan? Design that as well?
They knew of her plan. It was present to a monitor in a moment of insight when Mistral was killed during the fall of the Netherese Empire. A monitor was granted a glimpse of the future. He saw what would happen. He saw the darkness that would follow it. And he and the other gods planned this response.
Doesn't seem like a great plan.
Errol glares at you.
Yes, it seems like a strange plan in the abstract, of course. It's a strange strategy to lose before you win. Why not just win? But Shar's plan was relatively complex and difficult to stop without direct and immediate intervention, something the gods have a distaste for.
So what is your role in all of this? As you've been sending Vosner dreams and giving us warnings of things to come.
Well,
What do you hope to get out of gathering us all here?
well, we walk the same path, at least for a while. And time will come for you to decide whether you want to deviate from the path that has been set before you. And I will not make that choice for you. But I want to present to you that choice, so that it is not stolen from you by your paternalistic benefactors.
So if we don't go through with this, everything falls apart. And the gods die. And Char rules over whatever the hell happened out there.
That's already what's happened. Shar already rules. She sits high in her throne, floating above the material plane in one of those ancient Netherese cities brought back from the Shadowfell. She believes she's already won, and this is her greatest weakness.
Because she underestimates us.
She doesn't know who you are. Again, a clever design by the gods. To hide you away for 30 years, you are but a figment of a memory. Heroes lost to time.
Is Shonda Cool just chilling, listening, disinterested this whole time?
Yeah, he's just chilling there, sort of nodding along. He seems to agree with what Larlock is saying. And as Isolde picked up, he seems frustrated or to dislike the gods, or at least the gods' plan. He seems sort of disgusted with it, but he seems to endorse what Larlock is saying.
So what do we do?
Yes, the most important of questions. We do what we must, but that means recreating the world. A simple
Our
enough task.
our paths align right now because we all want that to happen, but just to be clear, you want to do this for Bane's sake?
Ah, a good question. Bane's mark lays on my hand. His power infuses me with extra abilities, and yet I do not seek to do his bidding. I have tricked Bane into thinking of me as his pawn. Bane's fate is of no importance to me. I have his power. What happens to him now is of no importance.
I insight check that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yep. All of those insights, he looks to be telling the truth.
I'm just gonna ask, Master Larlock, how long have you been here? Been in this room?
Not very long. I knew when you would arrive. Roughly 30 years or so. This is the place I have been for most of the fall of the material plane. It is relatively secure.
I see, yes, a safe place. Does that mean you brought your phylactery here as well?
He smiles. Ah, an astute observation. I do not require a phylactery, one of the many gifts Bane has bestowed upon me.
I see. A phylactery lit with the power of the gods, and we are supposed to trust your plan, the plan you present to us now.
Do not be confused by the simple and novel, old, naive views of good and evil. There is no good and evil on this. Look at the documents in front of you. The planes themselves, all agreed upon. Their construction, their design, who goes where. All of it decided in agreement. Good and evil gods alike. There is only power, Damon. Those who are willing to wield it, and to take on the burdens, and to make the sacrifices.
Damon nods but looks unconvinced.
Likewise.
Are you, like, masking your being unconvinced?
I would say I'm not really actively masking it, no.
He sort of nods, accepting that perhaps he hasn't persuaded you. And he says, "Tell me, do you know how the material plane was first created?"
Only stories.
He looks around the room to the rest of you.
I would assume that I do, considering how much religion I've studied.
Yeah, Isolde, you know that in the beginning there was a divine being named Ao who gave birth to all of these gods who created the material plane as a place for all of them to sort of exist, and the gods gave birth to all the races and so on and so forth, and all of creation was sort of in harmony with all these gods sort of dividing up the planes as sort of they were allotted by Ao. But as that sort of story comes to your mind, it conflicts with the papers you see in front of you. There's no mention of Ao. There's no mention of anything about the origin. Just scribbles on pieces of paper, decisions made by intelligent but mortal beings, perhaps.
I would probably voice this inconsistency.
He smiles again. Yes, there are many holes in their stories. And Chanticleer sort of like shakes his head again, sort of like almost apologetically.
This
Taryn,
Power Stone.
Taryn, you recall that not that long ago, you found a scroll in the treasure hoard of the gold dragon that trained you and Bosner. And on
Yes.
that scroll, it told a very different story.
Give me a minute to pull it up.
Yeah, no worries.
That's the elegy, right?
Yes.
Taryn will I think Taryn would wait until after till they're private to actually like bring this up.
Larlock looks around the room, and is there does Terran sort of flash recognition in his eyes, or does he keep it under wraps?
It would flash, but he would try to keep it under wraps, so there would be like a moment of it.
Alright, he's gonna roll insight. Let's see if you can beat his insight with deception. That's gonna be hard.
I don't know, I have an extra D4.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. He sees you sort of recognize. He goes, yes. Have any of you heard of Sardior?
I've heard mention in an old text.
Must be a very old text, for many of them were destroyed. There is another creation story, one that predates the gods you know and love. And he sort of begins to tell it, and he says, before Sardior, or at least when Sardior was first born, the universe was chaos. Moving energy, light, darkness, death, destruction, everything, all at once, without separation. And he describes this picture, swirling cosmos of darkness and light, forces crushing upon one another, beings coming into being, leaving, dying, being born, all at once. Noise. And Sardior, born of this chaos, took form and began to shape it. First of all beings, most powerful of all beings, a gem dragon. And he describes him thusly: towering over, larger than any being seen on the material plane before, could crush a Tarask in his hand. Sardior, the most impressive of beings, created the cosmos, created the material plane in his image. And this is what it looks like. A time of dragons, gem, metallic, chromatic, all together, harmoniously living in a draconic paradise. Of course, there was battle and strife. Beings lived and died and fought and killed, and rose to power and faded into the annals of history. A whole world, all of it, to be undone when they were invaded. Shandakul and 15 others, some of which you bear your mark, came to this plane and destroyed it. They took Sardior down, they slayed him, but Sardior could not be killed. Upon his death, in the clutch of his ashes, or in his ashes, a clutch of crystal, amethyst, topaz, eggs. Of course, Sardior could never be fully destroyed. He could always be reborn again from these eggs, and no matter what you did, he would eventually return. And so the gods themselves decided to take those eggs, put them in a stasis, a prison, and to take the Heart of Creation itself, Sardiar's most powerful artifact, and recreate all of the planes in their image, binding Sardiar's soul to the material plane itself, where it would never be able to escape. You see now on the pieces of paper in front of you these ley lines. At each one of them, you see at the heart of it a single dragon egg of a different gem variety. He said, "So, you may not have heard of Sardior, but I believe you are in possession of the last bit of his soul. Do you perhaps have that egg on you?" He looks around the room.
Above table. I
You
don't
do not.
remember if I have it.
We left it.
Did we leave it?
Wisely, yeah.
Yeah. Where did we? We left it back at the base.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Just checking
He
my
sort
note.
of scans all of your faces. Says, I assume you left it with Marin. That old puppet.
It seems safer than running around with it.
And you would be correct. Marin will keep it safe. Until he leaves. And then that task will fall onto you.
So, this dragon's soul is bound to these eggs. And we have the last one.
Precisely. At least, the last living one. The other fragments from the other eggs are still out there and need to be assembled, gathered.
How do we find them?
It's easy enough. They sit in the hands of Shar's most powerful generals, given to them as gifts, as just having them on your person grants you immediate and immeasurable power.
What do we do with the egg?
Shar must be aware then that there is one missing.
Yes. And I'm sure it keeps her up at night. Though, perhaps after 30 years or so, she's given up on ever finding it. Again, the genius of the divine plan that has been given to you. No one expects to lose after they've already won for so long.
It's true. So, she doesn't know of us, or that we have what she desires.
For now. Though,
For now.
your presence in Candlekeep is sure to have stirred up some discussion. Every move you make in public will announce your presence more and more. There are very few left who share a mark of the divine.
So what does the egg do? Do we need to hatch it, put it in a special place?
The egg must be hatched, Sardior reborn. And with it, it must be combined with the original pieces, the other eggs, which have now become shattered and turned into those baubles and trinkets. Once all combined, Sardior will be reborn in its full form, or at least some version of it. With Sardior, we can remake the world as we see fit. Perhaps we could return to this very table and draw up the cosmos as we want it.
So
You
the
said
plan then is not to restore the gods, but to circumnavigate them?
You call them gods. They were once in the same place you were. And they did not reinstate Sardior to power, but instead claimed it for their own. Would you not do the same?
Zolda looks very conflicted.
So what happens if Sardior comes back?
Well, the plan as your gods would see fit is to bring him back, to defeat him once again, to take the clutch of eggs that spawns from his ashes, and to reinstate them into the ley lines, reattaching all of the planes and restoring the power of the divine. But we don't have to take on that plan. That's what Marin wants. That's what Mistra wants. Saloon wants. Ilmater wants. It's what Primus wants. It's what Bahamut wants. But
not you, Farlock, Lich King, manipulator of Bane.
correct. I am tired of being a pawn to these divine beings. I have carried out their will for far too long. I have been bound by their rules, and he looks at you, Varol. Rules that they invented to keep their own power. We could create our own rules. Rules that are more fair, with less suffering.
Barrel's gonna chew on the implications of that for a minute here.
Seems to be quite the claim to claim that we could do a better job reshaping the world in our image.
It's true. It is a massive feat. Something that would take years of planning by only the brightest. But it's not impossible. The current design was not without its flaws.
That's why there are rules that exist and yet can be broken.
They can only be broken now that the structures that held everything in place have been undone by Shar. The weave itself gives you power, but it is a gift with limitations. Limitations designed by Mistra and the others themselves. They built it so that you could have power, but only the power that they wanted you to have. There is a more primordial magic, one that goes beyond the weave and the shadow weave, one that the gods themselves weave, one that you now possess through their mark. It was their great faith in you that gave you this power, but it could be their undoing, were you to recognize that you were just a puppet and take control of yourself.
So what is your plan?
To aid you as I can with the powers that I've been granted. I will help you restore Sardior in any way I can. And when the time comes, I hope you understand that the correct choice is not to restore power to these divine beings who refuse to get their hands dirty. I hope you recognize the opportunity to recreate the world. You know their plan is not to undo this. They never go backwards. It's a rule. Because anyone who can undo the past can undo the creation of the universe itself, and therefore undermine their power. They only want to go forward. They want to rule over this destroyed land and watch it slowly rebuild on the ashes of the civilizations that have been destroyed through this calamitous event.
And what do you get out of it?
When we rebuild the world, I want a plane to myself. Just as I assume each of you will want your own plane.
Why do we think that Sardior would be game to allow us at the table if he's as powerful as you say?
Because you would be promising not to imprison him in an egg for all eternity. You would be undoing the damage done by your mark givers.
What would stop him from just destroying us outright? You as well. I look to both of them at the other end of the table. What guarantees that he will go along? I don't think he would trust Marvel a second time.
Chanticleer nods and says, Sardior is a reasonable being of great intelligence. He would like to see the world recreated. He can be reasoned with. He was reasoned with before. We betrayed him.
What do you mean? Tell me more. What bargain did you strike with him? How did you betray him other than killing him and scattering his soul?
When we arrived here, we were visitors from somewhere else. He took us in, and we lived here for some time amongst the dragons before the 16 of us plotted in this room to destroy him and take the heart of creation for ourselves and rebuild this place. What Sardior craves above all else is life. This place, what it has become, it is no life. It is death, shadows of living. What's left on the material plane is but a small reference to what it could be. Sardior would will that it come back. And I'm sure he will help us.
The first step is gathering the rest of these dragon eggs.
The shards of them, yes. Larlock speaks up. They can be found on the necks of the generals who are at the top of Shar's army.
Do you have information about their locations?
I am willing to share with you what I know, and I will write it down for you.
I think perhaps my team and I need to have a discussion about how this will proceed, but we will take all of the information that you can offer.
A note of warning. Do not share this information with Marin. He is on a course. He must complete his leap.
Understood.
What you do with Marin, whether you send him back or let him sit on this plane, that is of no consequence to me. There is only one timeline now that I am concerned about, and it is the one we are currently on. We are allowed to break the rules because we will be the ones to write the new rules. We do not need to be bound by Mistra, or Ilmater, or Bahamut, or Saloon, or even the orderly Primus himself.
Zolda's definitely thinking pretty hard about this.
Take your time. And if you want to know more, I am always here. Simply follow me through the red portal. Is there any other question you have before I go?
Yes, says Varel. Our trust in you at the moment is based only on your desire for the power of the gods. Should that desire be met, I'm not terribly confident that trust follows. Short, how can we trust you if we complete this task and acquire the power you say? It seems likely that you'll want it for yourself. Why should you share?
Because we all stand with our various abilities, powers, strengths. Power checks power. I would not wish ill will on you, because it could be my undoing, just as you will not wish ill will on me. We do not need to destroy each other to achieve our tasks. What the 16 people in this room originally recognized is that power, when organized together, even with conflicting and different personalities, can achieve greatness. I suspect that the next time we meet in this room, you may bring other people to the table. There may be others out in the world who can help us, bearers of marks, powerful beings, who will ally with you. You can divvy up this pie however you like. I only want but one slice. And then he pauses. Well, and a slice for Shandakul as well. Who nods. Shandakul gets up from his chair and just straight up hovers, going over to his portal. And steps through. Larlock walks towards the portal.
Before you go, know that if you transgress, you will see that a lich can die. And Vera leaves it at that.
Damn.
I believe I have chosen the right people to help me in this quest. Until next time. And I would say give Marin my regards, but it's best if he doesn't know I'm here. We have a complicated past. And he's going to step through the portal. You find yourself in this chamber. Documents askew, books in front of you, behind you, all around you. This is essentially a library of the gods, built by the gods. It is untouched, it is pristine. Anything you want to look up, you can.
Wow. I'm gonna look up anything on Saloon and her plane, because just being leery of the gods in general.
Yep.
And like, I don't know, not the material plane, but the force of nature itself, and see how it's connected to our big old dragon buddy.
Yeah. Roll me whatever check is relevant to that. Nature, maybe? I don't know.
Gotcha. Nature. Gonna suck at disadvantage. How am I not proficient in nature?
Actually, while you guys think of things to do, I'm gonna go pee. Be right back.
Damn.
I'm going to do the same. BRB.
This chat is giving me life.
Yo, I seriously don't know. I just reread Veyral's backstory to see if there's like undying allegiance anywhere, and there is kind of, but it's like to the end of saving the world. And so as long as I get that end, then I guess I'm okay with it. It's tempting.
I will say that they roll with your time magics. There are what you're being presented as a dichotomy. It's not necessarily a dichotomy. Y'all can go off the rails here. Damon's on team Shar.
Wait, you're saying it's not just a choice between restoring the power of the gods and taking that power for ourselves? Like, we could maybe have our cake and eat it too somehow?
There are lots of options once you get to the powers that y'all are heading towards.
Ooh la la.
But also, Veyral knows that the ability to go back in time and change things is only forbidden because of the weave.
Right.
So if the weave isn't here, Veyral can do whatever the fuck he wants with regard to that.
I do what I want.
Okay, everybody's back. Welcome back. So yeah, you find yourself in the library of all libraries. We left with Bosner doing a nature skill check. Here's what you'll find, Bosner, with a 7, which is pretty low, but the papers are sort of right in front of you. You find, with help from others, I'll say, you sort of crowdsource looking through all these documents and stuff. You find Saloon's description of Yizgard, which is what she controls. And you see her descriptions of what it should look like, the nature of it, the trees, sort of the floating islands in the clouds that you would find in this place. And you see her description of who should rule it, how obviously she puts herself at the top, but then how many sort of demigods she would like to have at her command, and how it's going to tap into the sort of natural life force that emanates from the material plane as a result of these dragon eggs, these gem dragon eggs that lie at the ley lines and sort of give the entire material plane its source of power, and how Yizgard taps into that in order to sort of power itself, and in order for her to be able to wield that power back into the material plane in the form of granting boons and sending dreams and giving people powers, lycanthropy and all sorts of other things. So with a 7, you see that nature itself, the thing that you find yourself most connected to, it does move through Saloon, but it is because it is diverted from the material plane to her command. It is itself of the material plane and of Sardior himself.
Okay. Bosner sort of like tucks all of that information away and says that they were just beings from somewhere else who took advantage of generosity twisted it to their own whims, I guess. Kind of looks around at everyone. I don't know. I don't know, friends. What would our next move even be?
It may be that serving our divine patrons will turn out to be the wrong move, but I do not think that our goals ultimately align with those of Larlock. However, for now, I think we are all, for the time being, on the same team.
Can I do a check, kind of research check concurrently with Vosner's?
Regarding what? Yeah. Yeah, you guys can research
First,
whatever you want right now.
okay. First for like just corroborating evidence for what Larlock's saying.
Sure.
Then he wants to research about Asmodeus's place in this.
Yeah.
And then any like technical stuff about the use of the dragon egg.
Sure. So the first thing was corroborating evidence for Larlock.
Yeah.
Roll a. I'm guessing you're like looking at all the books in this room, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll an investigation check for that. With a 14, you do find that the things that he said correspond to all the documents out of the pages. When you look at these books, you see sort of that they were all authored by the 16 people in this room. This is sort of a private library for these gods, and that they seem to have mapped out and sort of figured out how this material plane, how this planet works, basically. And they have, you find a bunch of sort of books, but I think with a 14 you don't necessarily get. It does corroborate, but you don't get substantial stuff because
Okay.
Taryn is not a great investigator.
No.
Oh, so the second thing you asked was
Asmodeus's role in all of this.
Yeah. So at one point, you recognize that the chair sitting next to you is clearly like there's engraved in it some intricate design, and you recognize Asmodeus's name written in another language, sort of on the chair itself. In front of that chair sits his design for the Nine Hells. You can see he had planned out each layer of the Nine Hells with what it was supposed to be, the structure of it, the sort of environment of it. He has his notes for this are super detailed, comprehensive, and orderly, as you might expect from Asmodeus.
Right.
So Vosner's gonna grade a resto himself so he can do more investigation.
Yep. I was
Smart.
like, I'm tired of rolling at disadvantage. So, Vosner will also look at.
Oh, sorry. There was a third thing for Taryn, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was just like technical stuff of how they actually use the eggs.
Sure. What you
Like
find
ritual.
is that there were 5 eggs, 5 ley lines, specific locations that sort of had all the crossings, sort of like key points of power spread apart, of course, across the entire planet. That once all of them were sort of covered, they would sort of harness all of the power of Sardiur, and that's how they were able to create these planes. The eggs themselves were held in a stasis so that they would not grow and age and hatch.
Gotcha.
And you have been to one of these ley lines, so this substantiates that.
Familiar.
Right.
One of the ley lines, by the way, you recognize just geographically that it was near Lurien, which is where, during the invasion, Damon was, and he witnessed the destruction of that first ley line, or at least an explosion nearby before he left.
Right.
Because Vosner's going to look more so into sort of saloons like demigods or demi-beings. I don't know. You mentioned that as
Yeah, go for it. Feel
and
free
like
to...
what egg powers her plane?
Yeah. You can roll, I don't know, religion for that?
Religion.
Perhaps, yeah.
Can Damon just look for any information the gods have compiled on Larlock himself?
Ooh. It's a good idea. As Bosner, with that religion check, you just see that she's basically built in any of her followers that do great deeds for her. She will slowly move them up the rank. But you see that the ranking never goes higher than herself, that she always sits at the top, and that people who betray her get demoted, and that it's basically just a hierarchy where, and basically how these people could achieve various forms of divinity, and you see roughly outlined with a 17 a description of water pools where this sort of ritual could be done, and it gives you makes you recall back to Hannah's ascension when you helped her become a god. You were clearly carrying out this act for Saloon, this moment of promotion, a mortal being ascending to a level of divinity within this hierarchy. As for looking for record of Larlock, this library, as you quickly figure out, predates Larlock by a significant amount. Larlock, as you know him, Damon, if it's the same one, was a wizard who rose to power during the height of the Netherese Empire. And it was assumed with the fall of the Netherese Empire that all of these wizards who were in power were destroyed. But you are now learning that Larlock survived it.
Is there anything like in the Bane dossier that might be on the table that would indicate like how Larlock is able to be a lich without a phylactery, or what power Bane has given him, or what their connection is more specifically?
Yes, 1 sec. So what you find about Bane, first of all, his symbol is like a black hand that's sort of imprinted. That's what you saw on the backhand of Larlock himself. That he basically was ruling over the plains of despair of Acheron. That he has a relationship to the other gods where one of the things that he could grant is some form of immortality, and it's clear that he granted this to Larlock. He's one of the gods that sort of enabled necromancy within the Weave.
Knowing this, would I think like maybe it's not fair to, or not correct to think of Lilac as being a lich? That thinking of him as an enemy in that way is like not going to exactly capture what he's capable of.
Yeah, that Larlock, in order to have survived for so long, clearly had to have been gay, and he looks like a lich, but he seems to be beyond any lich you've normally seen. And if it's true that he doesn't even have a phylactery, that is
Yeah, if he's immortal and doesn't have to like regenerate in a phylactery after being defeated, then that's much scarier.
Yeah.
Cool.
Therial was gonna ask questions, but he didn't. What about Isolde? Isolde, do you have any investigations questions?
More so, can I request to insight check my companion?
Yeah. Which companion?
Isolde is watching everyone and just kind of trying to figure out, just what they're doing and what their behavior indicates, having just been essentially offered the opportunity to become gods. So she's watching to see if anyone seems like more excited, interested, and like maybe the things that they're looking up has to do with that. She's watching to see like who seems anxious or upset.
Yeah. So you can roll an insight, and then we'll sort of go down the line and say who's trying to sort of keep their cards close to the chest. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, let me just look at anybody's deception if it could possibly beat that. That looks like no. So I don't normally like to say like tell Laurel what your character's thinking, but it seems like she would at least be able to read your general response. You don't have to give like the intricacies of it.
So for Terran, he doesn't seem that much interested in Bahamut one way or the other, but he does seem very interested in Asmodeus.
Okay.
I would say you can tell Damon's not interested in like the prospect of godhood, but that many like the sort of blowing open of possibilities, and like that seemingly we can do anything at this point, has him considering paths forward that he might not have considered in the past.
So I can definitely tell like his wheels are turning.
Yeah.
Taryn's also a little bit disturbed that like the good gods like sat down and hashed it out with the evil gods.
Yeah, that's like Damon's thing is kind of like I don't want to help Larlock, but all of a sudden it seems like maybe just helping out these old fuddy-duddies isn't the right way to go.
Yeah, Vosner looks like even he looks disheartened and like heartbroken that the fact that he's sort of been deceived by this being that called out for his help. And so he just kind of looks distraught in that sense. I don't think there's no grander ambitions to shape the world. He's just very sad that the world was shaped in such a way that was, the destruction of another beings. So
I would say, Vosner, if your compassion is for Sardior, there is a path Vosner could see of restoring Sardior, but not demanding anything, but of having him rebuild what he had built before.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of where his mind would kind of point to. So yeah, out of compassion and sadness, he's sort of looking into that.
Vero looks puzzled, more like he's reading a book or solving a problem or trying to balance an equation than he looks like distraught or emotional one way or another. So this is almost a practical issue for him.
Veyroll is asking for biographical details on Mistra.
Yeah, I'm
of
good,
power.
and she's neutral, and so like I follow up, I almost would prefer an alliance rather than a betrayal or like a usurpation. I'm not terribly interested in like annihilating the other gods, or at least Mistra. So he's thinking maybe some sort of alliance, but if she has a track record of abusing power,
she's neutral good, which means she is in Mount Celestia, which is a good plane, but it is between order and chaos. That's what its neutrality is with regard to. Mistra herself, details on abuses of power.
I did a quick Google and it showed that she's not really concerned with good and evil as long as the laws of magic are respected, and that's a little bit opposed to Veyroll's alignment is good. So
definitely with regard to the weave, what you'll find, and I'm sort of breaking somewhat with the canon of Faerun, so Googling can get you some false positives and stuff. But what you would basically find is that from these notes especially, I guess you can roll for it. Roll me something. Investigation or Arcana even. Actually, Arcana might be better for understanding how all of this works. With Arcana, you can tell that Mistra and Shar were orchestrating together this system of the weave that would grant magical powers, or at least be sort of like a vessel to transmit powers from these faraway realms to beings within these realms. So we could basically teach their followers these divine, these sort of magical secrets and give them powers as they see fit. And Mistra's and Shar worked together to create this weave that would sort of follow these rules. It was sort of like a programmed system that they sort of draped over the material plane that did not exist prior to it. But everything that follows the rules of the weave also follows all of the rules that Mistra and Shar set in it, which are specific things like time control cannot be time cannot be reversed, and other limitations on how much energy can be drawn into a single spell, etc.
So a little self-interested, to set things up as she sees fit that way.
It's definitely set up so that people, human beings, or other humanoids cannot cast spells beyond a certain power. That there's a cap put in place, and you know that the only time a mortal being has, to your knowledge, attempted to break that cap was an event called Karsus's Folly, which eventually led to the destruction of the Netherese Empire, as he tried to become the new god of magic, and as a result, the weave was basically destroyed and recreated, and in the process, all of the flying cities of the Netherese Empire fell to the ground and millions died.
Gnarly.
And
Okay.
with this new information, you would discern that the reason that happened wasn't because of something that Karsus did, but was because the gods had to stop them from ascending any higher. And the price was millions of lives so that these people didn't get more power than the gods.
She's interested in preserving a hierarchy. Yeah, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I'll keep that in mind when deciding whether or not I want to betray the god that I've been following for a long time now.
Yeah.
And then any sort of chronology insights, can I see like the rules as written for the structure of time in the material plane? Because that would be like the end of all of my studies, like here on a piece of paper.
Here's what I'll tell you. What you find in here is that Mistra and Shar and a bunch of the other gods of Monitor, who also dabbled in this, were essentially just incredible wizards who were working on chronergy as one of the many fields that they dabbled in. Of course, their magic predates the weave, as they created the weave, so their magic is almost in a different language than yours is, a more primordial language, but you can sort of tap into it, as chronergy kind of always already tapped into this primordial magic that most schools hadn't recognized before. What you find in there is essentially descriptions of how to traverse time backwards and forwards. You get the feeling that Mistra, Amonitor, Shar, other of these gods perhaps did this in their own realms. They traversed backwards and forwards, changed things, and affected the flow of reality itself, which is why they seem to have banned it in the universe that they created for themselves.
Hypocritical. And then of course the peak experience we're after here is to witness all timelines simultaneously. It's the chronologist's dream there. Do I find any evidence that such a perspective is attainable with this primordial magic?
I will say that what you find is that these beings were not capable of doing what you're talking about. That kind of omniscience concerning all timelines is something beyond their abilities, that they only have access to certain information.
I'm coining a new word, omnitemporality, to serve this, but I'm
Sure.
here for it. It's juicy.
Yeah, they lack omnitemporality.
Cool.
I guess
Well,
one of the things you discern from this is, as powerful as they are, they relied very heavily on the Heart of Creation, an item created by Sardior himself, and they depended very heavily on that item to structure things. That as powerful and smart as they weren't powerful enough to do this by themselves, and that after they recreated the planes or created the planes in their own model as the sort of cosmic wheel that you know of, they destroyed the heart of creation itself so that no one else could recreate it.
Suckers, I'm coming for that, man. Cool, yeah. Goal set and relationship with Mistra in mind. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Terran's just gonna keep going through Asmodeus's notes. He's looking for like if the deals were part of the original plan or if they came later.
Yeah, you see that built into Asmodeus's power structure is the ability to generate and enforce divine contracts that immediately we're enforcing across all planes of existence. So Asmodeus sort of sought to gain a little bit of power over all of the other planes by having a contract system that bound to the souls of any being that agreed to them in such a way that every single plane had to acknowledge them. It was one of the concessions that you got from the good planes to the evil planes.
Gotcha.
Before we leave, can I see if there's anything like that will concisely explain what Primus's goals were in setting things up this way?
Yeah, you read through Primus's notes, which are outlined carefully, very well scaffolded, completely intelligible and logically arranged. And what you find is that for him, so much of it was about, and you can see his mark sort of on other figures' notes, where he's clearly the one who helped provide the framework of interlocking and interweaving all of these planes together so that all of them spoke to each other orderly. Each plane sort of interacted with each other plane in a sort of cosmic chaos but structured order where everything sort of flowed into the next one naturally and the wheel kind of kept turning cosmically.
Okay. So almost primarily like as an arbiter for everybody else and the way they were going to construct the way the planes were organized.
Yes.
Primus was there as like a sort of meta level organizing the organization.
Yes, but he sat at this table, not at the head of it, but as just part of it. As one of the members, he just craved order above all else.
Did he ever tell us who sat at the head of the table?
There was no head of the table.
Okay.
Everybody sat sort of as equals, one after the next.
Gotcha.
Any other investigating you want to do?
Terran and Vosner were going to try to look for cool primordial dragon powers.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the
Power
things
steel dragons.
Yeah, one of the things you find is that there's sort of a know thy enemy amount of research in this room. In the books, you find all of this information about the gem dragons, topaz dragons, crystal dragons, ruby dragons, etc. and their description of their immense power and ability, sort of their harmonious relation to nature, and their ability to channel nature to do great and terrific things. These beings were very, very strong. They had complex social hierarchies, systems, civilizations, etc. And in this version of reality that the gods are sort of documenting, you see just like all sorts of other beings also coexisted at this time. There were other races, other species that lived on Toril and thrived and did well, including documentation of dragonborn races. So you would find all of that. Gem dragons had different kinds of breath that can do different things, a wide range of effects and abilities, things you've never quite seen, psionic powers, etc.
Gotcha.
Nice. And what was the one for the... What's the dragon egg that sort of powers the material plane? Did I find anything on that?
You know that there were 5 dragon eggs that were born from the ashes of the last time Sardior was slain, and you have one of them. Marin has it right now.
Gotcha. I guess whatever. I guess he would kind of look more into the crystal dragon, since that's the egg we got.
Sure.
What kind of cool power may I potentially learn?
So documented things about crystal dragons is that they have they are resistant to cold and radiant, that they have a dragon breath that shoots out radiant energy, and they also have I believe they have a second type of breath. Let me look. They have psionic abilities. They can cast psionic spells. They can cast... They are sort of divination-based dragons. I'm trying to think of other things. That's sort of all the listed things about them. They rely on the power of the stars.
Okay. Nice. Alright. I guess if there's any way that Vosner can sort of continue to turn into a dragon, that's the sort of path.
Sure.
Are the current dragons... Does Vosner get the idea that the current dragons on the... or at least from 30 years ago, descendants of the primordial ones, or were they just created like everything
Yeah.
else?
So you find out that 2 important things. One is that Bahamut and Tiamat both let's see, Tiamat's on the list, right? No, she's not. Never mind. Sorry. Bahamut for sure was at this table and was one of was oh, hello. You discern that Bahamut was a member of this council who decided this, but was actually one of the children of Sardior. And that all of the gem and chromatic dragons do descend from Sardior in some distant way, but they're sort of like long-distant relatives now.
Just for Isolde's record, John, how close are we to the, we need to be back in 2 hours mark?
I would say roll. What would you roll? I guess it's a wisdom thing. Roll perception. Perception of time.
Do you mind rolling it for me? I'm
Yep.
trying to feed a baby soup.
Yo, and could I help too with that roll?
I will give her advantage. Isolde, you quickly start to think about how much time you've spent here. You get the feeling that you have perhaps 20 more minutes before you are outside of the window that you promised for getting back to Marin. Though sitting in front of you is the red portal that Larlock said if you wanted to follow him, you could always go through that instead.
Got it. I would voice that to the rest of the group. That Lyra needed us to be back at a certain time in order to get back to our base.
Yeah. Should probably head out.
If you have remaining research to do and I can expedite in any way, please let me help.
We have the info from Larlock about where the generals are at and where the gem fragments are. Like we're not in the dark about.
Yeah, I'll give that to you next time. I have some of it worked out, but I didn't want to Anyways, he'll have given you more detailed information.
Roger.
Then we'd probably try to head out.
Okay. You only know of 2 ways in and out of this place right now. One is the red portal that Larlock went into, and the other is the blue portal behind you that you came in through. You don't exactly know where either will lead you at this moment. What do you do?
Can we investigate the portal?
Which one? And of course.
And by we I mean Vera.
Yeah. No, can't.
Being voluntold.
Yeah, which portal are you investigating, and what are you looking for?
Intuitively, I would think the blue portal would take us back to where we came. And I don't really want to follow Larlock, but I suppose I would start with the blue and see if it shows signs of taking us back to the library.
Okay, so roll an investigation check.
With disadvantage since I'm exhausted.
I'll say it's
Can
flat.
I,
Yeah, he's.
Can I help?
Yeah, so it's a flat roll.
Okay. Oof.
Brutal.
Actually, hang on. So, I could use Convergent Futures, but that's going to exhaust me more. But that would guarantee enough to pass the check. I trust my crew, so I'm going to throw in one of those.
Okay. And yeah, I see. And decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed. Okay, so you just decide to succeed, basically?
Yeah. But, yeah. So, like, several varils appear kind of staticky and strobe-like, and that quickly settles down to the varil who understands what's going on here.
Here's what I'm going to say. In this space, Beryl, when you cast this spell, it doesn't exhaust you.
Ooh.
You feel like you begin tapping into the real ability that Mystra gave you. And in this particular divinely constructed demiplane, you feel as though you can will certain fates to happen. And what you see is that through the portal, you will be led back to the main hall that you came through, that book that you went through. You will be teleported back to the main hall, which you left with some haste before.
With people on our tail, no doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll turn to the squad and say, this portal, and I'll gesture to the blue one, takes us back to where we came, or from where we came. That one, and he'll point across the room to the red, will take us to wherever it is Larlock has gone.
If we go back through the blue, we'll have a fight.
A fight, at least, that we're aware of and can prepare for.
Do we think we'll be able to fight our way out in time?
It occurs to me it might be worth checking the other portal as well. Maybe I can, since I have unlimited convergent futures, maybe, well, at least in here, maybe I could see where that goes.
Yeah. You go to investigate the other portal, and you see that this leads to a underground sort of like wizard sanctuary deep within the ruins of Mithranor, an ancient elven city fallen years and years and years ago.
That sounds familiar. I don't know if we've come across that.
You have. That was the location of the necromantic staff at one point, before it was given to Bread. Bread, Varel, because you did the legend lore and saw the whole history of that staff, you saw events occurring in these very ruins, because Larlock owned that staff for a while. So you saw him build this place with the power of an undead army.
Yeah, I will mention intimations of undead armies to the squad.
Okay, so it's either Larlock's lair or out to a fight with the Shadowvar.
Well, all I needed to do was send a message to Lyra, and we would get zapped back, right?
No, you would get the coordinates for a teleportation circle that would you could key into.
Could I hypothetically do that from this room?
You don't know.
Okay.
Hello.
She keeps shushing me because I was shushing her. Yeah, she's going. Can I try sending a message to Lyra?
Go for it.
DC agree?
Not now, Paco.
Yeah. Again, she says, "Shh." I again cannot because I have
Got it.
baby and soup on my lap,
I will
which
cast
is
the spell.
treacherous enough as it is without adding a laptop to the mix.
Sending. Casted it. It doesn't work from here.
Boo. Alright, so I will tell them that we need to make a decision, and that I vote going back to Candlekeep.
Just because
I
there is
think-
a foe waiting for us does not mean we must engage. We can run.
And we're gonna need to go back to Yithrin regardless, because that's where the egg is, even if we plan a different course of action. So
You can
Agreed.
always try to
It would be
return.
suspicious and concerning if we did not return.
And though this should not matter, I am unwilling to give Lilac the satisfaction of following him immediately.
That's my petty robot.
So you're going through the blue portal.
yep, let's get killed by shadow
Real
people.
blue pill, red pill kind of situation.
Okay. You.
That's how come.
What's the order that you go through?
Damage.
will go first.
Yeah, damage sponge probably last.
For your own purposes, I will say you all got a short rest while chilling in here. Just for mechanical purposes, since you're all missing HP. So, Laurel, you want me to do that for you?
That'd be a yup.
Cool beans. Cool. Okay. You all get your short rest in, and you pop out. And you said Damon first?
Yes.
Yeah, could I cast haste on myself just before I step through?
Yeah.
I will do that.
And I'm gonna say Damon. Yeah. Let's do it this way. What's the order you all are going into? Can we get a... Actually,
I'll go last.
Taryn will go third.
okay. We'll do Vosner next, then Taryn, then Isolde, then Beryl. So I'm gonna put you guys at the bottom of the order here. Damon, you hop through portal. And it is... You find yourself in... Oh, sorry, that's loud. Back in the library, waiting for you there, 3 figures to the north, and a woman, long flowing blonde hair, sort of muted by the lack of color in the room, in the plane of existence, really. Her eyes sort of glowing a sort of a dark red. Around her neck, in a bauble, is an amethyst glowing bright purple. That her eyes flash at yours as soon as you come through, and she begins to cast a spell. And we're going to initiative. You are hasted. I have that marked. I don't know if that's... Is the haste on you right now? You good to go?
Yeah. We're good.
Okay, Damon, you go first. You come into this
Okay.
room, and there are these shadowy figures sort of all around this room. They seem to have been looking for you. You caught them off guard, which is how you got the jump.
Do I see? Is it Valindra Shadowmantle who's trying to cast a spell?
Yes.
And can I tell that she's trying to cast a spell?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna run at her, and I'm first going to make an attempt to grapple her.
Okay. She
I
will
think that's-
roll.
Is that athletics?
Yeah, you can roll athletics or yeah, you have to roll athletics.
Yeah.
She is grabbed by you.
Okay. And can I use my second attack to try and just cover her mouth with my hand?
Yeah, I'll say you can, with your super speed, try to cover her mouth. Sure.
Okay. What should I roll for that?
Let's just do another. Do sleight of hand against her. Let's say strength. She knocks your hand away and gets her mouth free.
Okay. Yeah.
She's still
that's gonna be
grappled
my
by you,
turn.
though.
Yeah, that'll be my turn, just trying to get her to be still and silent.
Sure. The Shadow Dancer, I'm gonna say, is surprised for the first round. Valindra was the only one not surprised. She is going to attempt to paralyzing touch you. And it like fails to go through your armor. She's trying to like look for a weak point to get into your soul. And at the end of the round, Vosner comes through the portal. But Damon, it is your turn.
Okay. I am just going to start swinging while telling her to be quiet.
Shit. She pops her shield, which bumps her AC high enough that it deflects your... Actually, no, it shouldn't. Sorry. It popped twice for some reason. Let me undo that. She's gonna do shield anyways, but I want to remove that. Delete effect. Delete effect. And it is going to hit her. So, could you just roll another attack?
Yeah. And we'll do one more swing.
Are you letting go of your grapple of her to swing with both hands then?
No. Do I need to?
I would say so, yes. It's a two-handed.
Oh.
Well, I guess no, it's your sword arm.
Yeah.
We'll say you hit her. Actually, that second time, the shield would have stopped it, so she does block that.
Can she use shield twice since it takes a reaction?
No, but shield applies to every attack. So.
But I counterspelled it.
Oh. So I didn't realize that. Yeah, you counterspell, and it does undermine your shield.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my turn then. And I'll say to Vosner, this one's trying to do something tricky.
Okay. The Shadow Dancer is going to come up to you, and actually, he doesn't need to. He's going to hit you at ranged. He's going to hit you with a spiked chain. Oh, he misses. How many attacks? 3 spiked chain attacks. I thought that one would hit for sure. Dang it. Jesus. Okay. That is so sad. 3 swings. They all miss. Is going to... He's going to 3 spear attacks. Oh. He can do that. He's going to cast Fear on Vosner. Vosner, you are now frightened. And then he is going to
Okay.
move 30. And he's got a spear that... Oh, it doesn't have reach. Dang it. So he's rushing up toward Damon from behind. And that is his turn. The Soulmonger is to throw a Shadow Dagger at Damon. Who you already... I think you already used your... Oh no, that reset didn't.
Does it recharge at the end of my turn?
Yeah, it's the end of your turn, so... Okay, so you blocked that with your shield.
Yeah.
So undo the damage. The target has disadvantage on saving throws. Okay. Hit or miss, the dagger magically returns to his hand immediately. And he makes 2 of those attacks, so 1 more. Actually, he's going to throw the second one at Vosner. And miss. And that will be that turn. Belindra is going to... Now that your counterspell is gone... Oh shit. She's going to cast a very high level spell. Out of the bauble on her neck, she channels her ability to cast this.
Oh shit.
Wait, does it need an attack roll? You utter a word of power can compel one creature within range to die instantly. If the creature you chose has 100 hit points or fewer, it dies. Otherwise, the spell has no effect. Damon.
Yep, I don't.
Damon has 88 HP. Damon drops dead.
Oh, that's bad.
Bosner, it is your turn. You are afraid of what you just saw.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid of the guy. Right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, let me see how fear works. While frightened by this spell, the creature must take the dash action to move away from you by the safest route possible each of its turn, unless there is nowhere to move. If the creature ends its location where it doesn't have line of sight to you, the creature can make a Wisdom saving throw. On a successful save, the spell ends for that creature. You are compelled to spend your turn dashing, running away.
could I... So, I can't do anything but dash.
Correct. You're trying to get to a place where you can no longer see the speed.
Sweet, I'm just gonna hide behind this table over here.
Okay.
Hold on, let me untarget myself, because that makes things hard. So I'm just gonna go over here and hide, and then do a wisdom save.
Yeah. Yep, you succeed and you are no longer afeared. And at the end of the round, Taryn joins in.
Really thrilled about this, guys.
Yeah, and I say, the caster just dropped Damon. Be careful.
Damon,
I'm not gonna have.
you are With the casting of that spell, you find your consciousness sort of like blasted out of your body, and this feeling you expect to experience is one of ascension, of flying up to another realm. You've been close to death before, and in that experience, you felt your soul being sort of tugged in one direction. As this happens this time, your soul is sort of like pushed out of your body, and you see your body sort of collapse in a heap on the floor, and you hover above it, just not going anywhere. You see the events unfold in front of you as though you cannot interfere. You feel sort of drawn in no direction. And that is your turn. Shatterkai, Shadow Dancer, is going to rush towards Aaron and swing his spiked chain, missing terribly.
That'll do it. Oh no! Wow.
There you go. Let's see if you make the dex.
I'm gonna
save.
counterspell it.
Yeah. You failed the dex save, so it's a 4. You are grappled
All right.
by the
we can
chain.
deal with that.
And then the Gloomweaver will go. Who's going to now attention to you, who are grappled. Stab you with his Shadow Spear. Whoa. One, two, 3 times.
Well, I'm not gonna survive this.
And he
God.
misses the 3rd one.
All right then.
BM's taking it easy on us.
The Soulmonger is going to Shadow Deck at Bosner.
I'm like hiding behind the.
Oh yeah, I'll give you cover, but I don't think that's gonna help with the 24.
Okay, probably. I guess I can't do anything.
He's gonna throw another Shadow Dagger.
Yeah, I can't react to anything. Could I as a warcaster or no? They have to
I
be
don't
melee of me.
think so. You could reread Warcaster. Taryn, it is your turn.
Well, I'm probably fucked, but we're gonna start a bonus action. Breath weapon. There we go. Like that.
Nice. And
So they're both pushed.
Yeah, and knocked prone, right? 15 feet or something?
Yeah. They're pushed back 10 feet. That's
Okay.
it.
Not knocked prone.
Right.
Okay.
Then we're going to cast chain lightning and transform it into an ice lightning.
I love it.
And hopefully they're not immune to ice. And it's only letting me target one creature.
Oh, that's fine. That's so weird, but yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
So it's going after the lady and then the two hurt
Actually,
people.
let me just fix it. I might be able to quick edit it so that it chain lightning 5th level, right? Or no, 6th level.
6.
And it's the cold one.
Yeah.
How many can it normally target? 4? As many as 3 other targets. So I'm just gonna say 4 targets.
Yeah. So I'll get them all.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Hope this works.
Okay. So when you go to cast that, she is going to try and counterspell you.
So does counterspell technically target me?
Yes.
Sweet. I'm just gonna absorb it into my rod of absorption.
Wait, for real?
Yep.
All right. She knows spells, so she knows that is a 6th level spell. So, can you do your rod so I can see how that works?
Yeah. Pull myself up.
I've never heard of that interaction, but that sounds pretty fucking broken. It's amazing.
The utility.
Okay. Well, you can use your action to absorb a spell that is targeting only you, with no area of effect. Yeah, that checks out to me. I'll Google it later to see if but as of now, I'll just say that this is exactly how it works. So what's it look like when you absorb her counterspell?
So my spell falters for a moment. And then she casts a counterspell that's kind of warping reality, and then that just gets sucked into my rod in my right hand.
Sure.
And then the spell powers up again. And...
Nice. She looks fucking shocked by that, and she sees that 2 of her people are almost. Oh, sorry. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn? You are grappled, so your movement is... You're, stuck to this guy holding a chain.
Yeah, I was hoping it would actually kill him, and I wouldn't have to worry about being grappled. No, there's nothing else I can do, so...
Okay. She is going to... cast a spell at you, which your reaction... Wait, do you get your reaction back at the beginning or the end of your turn? That's an important question for this, because...
I think it's the beginning.
That sounds right to me. So I think she's going to cast a spell at you. Taryn. Taryn, she holds out her finger and shoots you with negative energy. You take a shit ton of necrotic damage. Your corpse begins to fizzle and turn necrotic, and you feel your body turning into a zombie. As your body begins to zombify, Taryn, you watch as his whole body begins to turn black, his eyes turn hollow, and he begins to arise on his own. But the mark on his body, Bahamut's mark, sort of glowing red, you see it repel this energy, and out of his body all of this toxic zombie energy just spews. Taryn throws up on the ground but passes out.
All right.
Taryn is dead. But he's not a zombie.
It's good.
Stan, could you have counterspelled?
He didn't have it up from... He just used his reaction on his own
Yeah,
turn.
I didn't have a reaction.
But doesn't your reaction recharge at the end of your turn?
That's what we were asking, if it was the end or the beginning.
Oh, okay.
It starts at the end of the beginning of a new round.
No,
It's your own turn.
The reaction?
Reactions
Yeah.
come back on I think it's the beginning of your own turn you get your reaction back.
Okay.
anyone have the player's handbook?
Yeah.
The
I trust the DM.
consensus of Reddit is the start of your turn.
Okay.
Yes, start your next turn.
Vosner, it is your turn. Terran.
Cool.
Terran just died in front of you. Almost became a zombie, but resisted it and did not. And Damon is dead in a heap in front of you.
Nice.
Did Damon roll a save?
He did not.
Yeah.
I think I just die outright, don't I?
Yeah, power word kill just
Okay.
kills you.
Yeah.
All right.
Eh.
I'm gonna send a healing word.
Oh, Terran is dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, I will become a.
Oh, Terran, your experience of this death, by the way, you witnessed all of that happening, floating aimlessly above your corpse as your life force is sort of just hovering above, and the sort of light is dimming on your body.
Okay.
Got it. All right. I will then become a fire elemental.
Okay.
Because fuck this game. Come on. I can't drag my
I got it.
elemental out. Okay.
That's really cool with the lighting effect.
Yeah.
Now I can't see anything except
Oh.
for my fire elemental. Here we go.
Sorry.
Alright. I will.
I'm just gonna put you back over here in the lineup.
Yeah. Shoot. Untarget myself. I'm gonna come. Try not to burn my friends.
It does not matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
That-
So I'm gonna go right on top of her.
Okay, I'm gonna take you off of her just for the purposes of targeting, but I will acknowledge that you are burning.
So she has. I have Investiture of Ice on me.
Okay.
So it's difficult terrain around me.
Okay.
And then I have resistance to fire or extra
Yeah,
resistance
poison.
to fire and stuff like that. And then I'm just going to bop her.
Okay.
Where is my? There we go. Where was this? Then 2. Did I miss her both times? Did I target her?
Oh, sorry. I got it. Yeah,
Okay.
the second one hit.
Okay. And then, because I'm on top of her, what do fire? In addition, elemental can enter house. That creature takes 1d10 and catches fire. It takes 1d10 for each of the turns that they start their turn in that space. So let me roll an extra 1d10. Okay. So she's on fire until someone puts her out.
Is that the start of her turn? Or what's the...
So initially when I go on top of her, and then at the start of her turn, at the
Okay.
start of each of her turns, when she's not put out.
Okay. Okay, so she'll take 4 damage right now?
Yep. 4 extra damage.
Got it. Yeah, she takes that damage. At the end of the round, Isolde, you come through the portal, and you find Terran dead on the ground, Damon dead in a heap, and Bosner is a fire elemental fighting 4 beings. And we go to the top. Damon, you're hovering over your body, witnessing this happening. You feel completely disconnected, cold. Shatterkai is coming through. Is going to attack Isolde. Spike chain. Oh my god, a 23 misses? He is some kind of god? Not yet. Okay, that's 3 misses. All of them striking your shield as you come to the other side of the portal. Isolde, it is your turn.
Wow, exciting. Horrified, I will immediately lean down to Taryn and cast Raise Dead on him.
Is Raise Dead the one turns him into a zombie?
No.
I think so. She wants zombie Taryn.
No!
I will
It's the
say...
stronger Revivify, John.
I think it's stronger only because you can do it 10 days out. It does have a -4 penalty to all attack roll saving throws, like, for a long time. I think you'd know Revivify is actually like the the less damaging one.
Raise
Okay,
Dead
well,
past
then-
time is 1 hour.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Revivify then.
Yep. You cast Revivify. You want me to cast that in the chat for you?
I can do it.
Okay.
Let's target a token.
Yeah, bring him
Okay.
back to life.
This is all kinds of bad. Stop cast it. It's still broken. It
Okay.
says you must target at most tokens.
At most, you have to target at most tokens.
You know, I'll target multiple tokens if you tell me to, Foundry.
Alright. I have fixed it for you, I think. Cool. Taryn, you see Isolde reach down and touch your body, diamonds in hand that get dissolved into a dust that flies around and infuses energy in your body, and you feel yourself being pulled, drawn back to your corpse. Do you accept this pull?
Yeah, he would.
Alright. Taryn, you have 1 health? Or is that what Revivify does? 1 HP?
Yep.
Yep. And
I hope for the last.
and you are at 2 points of exhaustion.
Alright.
Shattered.
What happens at 2 points of exhaustion?
2 points of exhaustion is half movement speed and disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay.
Isolde, is there anything else you want to do with your turn?
Can I bonus action hand him a potion?
Yeah, you can pull something out of your pack if you want.
I have a potion of greater healing that I will shove in his general direction.
Okay. Yeah, you can't make him take it as a bonus action, but you can at least hand it to him.
Hopefully they won't notice that I'm back until I stand up.
Just David stress eating there. Okay, the Shatterkai is going to, seeing this happen, is going to move towards Tam, and he's gonna stab him on the ground with advantage because
No.
he's prone.
Oh my god.
Well, this isn't gonna work.
Taryn is knocked out.
Yep.
Someone do something. Veryl, you got time magic.
And
It's fine. It's fine.
he's coming after Isolde with his second of 3 attacks.
No, thank you.
Hey, you guys remember when we started playing high-level D&D?
Uh,
Cool.
Oh, no.
Shatterkai. Soulmonger is coming this way, or is more concerned about his master and is going to start hurling shadow daggers at this boy. Second shadow dagger. Holy shit, that was a crazy roll. He hurls these 2 shadow daggers at you, Vosner, and they keep pulling back to his hand. Taryn, make a death saving throw.
Alright. If I don't get a natural 20.
For the record, because I didn't give it to you in between sessions, one of the described generals was a woman who looked a lot like Valindra, and her name was Valindra, and she has the amethyst fragment of the
Cool.
gem dragon.
Cool.
So,
We
like
just
right
got
after
right
reading
down to work.
that paper from Larlock, you definitely see her.
Guys, I think we went to the wrong door.
Taryn succeeds saving throw.
Yeah.
It is Valindra's turn. She is going to. What's she got? She's got so many spells. She is going to activate the her necklace, and she's going to like hold on to it, and it is going to like explode a shit ton of magic missiles out around her, like a big arc, and they sort of arc behind her and then fly into the air, and then all of them pelt down on Foster. And using the necklace, she casts magic missile at 9th level. Oh, why does it do it this way? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Gotta click it.
Only
12 times.
2. I'll take that damage.
You take 25 more damage.
There should be 2 more.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
Was that roll like utter garbage? Oh my god, there's no force. And 2 ones, 3 ones. Okay, I was like, man, that seems pretty underwhelming. Magic missile sucks. Yeah, all of these magic missiles erupt out of her. She is going to. That was with her bonus action. She is going to cast. No, that was with her action. She's going to. Where is it? Shadow Step away 30, or let's say 60 feet. She shadow steps towards the door. Bosner, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I will first activate this little crowny crown. So I'm gonna start to regenerate 1d8.
Okay.
First. 1d8. So did she take a
Oh yeah, some fire damage.
yeah. Let me alright, so I get 3 health back.
I'll look after the fire damage. It looks like it is 1d10.
Yeah, roll 1d10. And then how far can I travel to Saloon's Mark? There's 60 feet. Alright, and then I will follow her with Saloon's Mark
Okay.
and then bop her in the face some more.
All right.
Because she deserves it.
Wait, Saloon's Mark is a bonus action? Can you do that with the Crown of the Dryad Queen?
Oh shoot. I don't.
We can just undo the Crown of the Dryad Queen if you'd like. If you'd
Yeah,
prefer
yeah. Undo that. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I will punch her in the face some more.
that checks out.
He's an angry boy. 1. Nice.
Oh, she tries to shield it, but it goes through anyway
Yep.
and hits her for 24.
And then 2.
That one misses.
Okay. Cool. She is still on fire.
Yeah. At the end of the round, Veyral joins the combat.
Notorious damage dealer, Veyral Failithir, yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Damon, hovering over your body.
I don't.
Shatterkai, Shadow Dancer, sees Damon, or sees their master getting fucking owned, and decides to shadow jump, which means he teleports another 30 feet
Hey.
and attacks you with a spiked chain.
You miss.
And misses twice, trying to catch onto your fiery form. Veyral, it is your turn. In front of you
Yep.
sits Terran, unconscious, clearly fucked up. Damon in a heap on the floor. You've never seen him depowered. Isolde is bleeding heavily in front of you, and there's a Gloomstalker, right? Or a Gloom Weaver right in front of you. A man with a spooky ass spear.
Yeah. Shit. I want to kill the people far, but I don't want Izzy to fall either. So I guess the first thing to do is to take care of the nearest target. Which sucks because I want to do other stuff. But let's take care of the nearest guy, to give us some breathing room.
Oh, actually, Terran, can you reroll your death saving throw? The Gloom Weaver has a aura that gives disadvantage on all humanoids except elves within 10 feet of him.
Could I use Mistra, Mark, to have him pass that?
No, you weren't around
No, you
when
weren't
that happened.
around.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's disadvantage, so
would have been great.
that would.
Rip.
Oh, man.
So we'll put you back to 0.
I enjoy like you're just taunting us at this point.
It just says Damon, but it doesn't say what Damon's son. Okay.
I tried to sound a broken heart emoji.
Oh, fair enough. All right, yeah, Veyral, it is your turn. Sorry for that.
No, you good. Yeah, so we're gonna take care of the nearest target, which is kind of wimpy, but that's what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Killer on him. Let me read that really quick.
That kind of procs slowly. Like that one takes a long time to kill them.
Yeah, you're right. Everything else is at range, so my death knell might not be too bad. 3d12, yeah, that's not too bad. So let's do that. I'm gonna death knell this guy nearest.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait. Why didn't it go? Oh! You fill his mind with necrotic energy, and you just see him go, yeah. And it doesn't do anything.
I am fucking useless. That's not good. Okay.
Exciting.
Shit. I think that's like all I can do. Could I give somebody or hand off a potion of healing as a bonus action?
There is, as a bonus action, you can't give, like, drink it or put it down their throat. You can put it next to them. Though
So there's
Terran
just
has just a
pile of them by
there's
my
just
court.
a potion next to Terran's already fucked up for.
All right. Fuck. I played that so badly. but I think that's all I can do, my friends.
Okay,
This
Isolde,
is
you're
why
up.
we always take Fireball.
All right. Isolde is going to use the Preserve Life ability. So I can restore 75 HP to people within 30 feet of me up to half of their health. I'm going to take 21. That leaves 54 left over. Taryn, what is your half health mark? Can you take all 54?
He can take
My
53.
health mark is 53 and a half. So depending on rounding.
We'll just say flavor-wise, I mean, that's what you're going to get, that one little HP. She's just going to divert any little extra whisper of magic that she has to Damon, knowing that it's not going to do anything.
Yep.
And then, since that's an ability, not a spell, I'm going to bonus action Spiritual Weapon at 7th level,
Holy shit.
right in front of me, and try to beat the shit out of this guy.
I love it. I don't even think I have that anymore. Fuck. Spirit Weapon. I got it. But it's not the 7th level one. So we'll just up the damage if it hits.
Come on.
Do you have control over it?
Yeah, I just have to target this guy
Okay.
first.
Just making sure.
If it fails, I'll chronal shift as a reaction, but I'll.
We're gonna kill this
Yeah,
guy.
do something.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I'm gonna consume your 7th level slot to do that, and I'm gonna look up how much it takes.
That should be a hit, right?
Yeah, 1 second. As a reaction, he has Misty Escape. When the Shadow Guard takes damage, it turns invisible and teleports along with his equipment. Oh, but it takes damage.
Dead.
Yeah, so it takes the hit and tries to blink out, but it just collides with this table and just fucking dies. It's clearly trying to dodge the effect, but it just crushes its spine and it bleeds out on the table, goes unconscious, and dies.
I am already running towards Damon.
Hell yeah. This Gloomweaver is done. The Soul Mother is going to attack Isolde, throwing Shadow Daggers.
Don't do that, man. Come on.
Stop throwing things.
And at Bayroll.
Ooh.
Let me see if my shield will work. I have
It
one
won't.
sword and okay, then fuck it. We'll just eat it.
Takes 94 damage.
Dies.
Ka-chunk. And that is his turn. He's going to be running towards the door, away from you all. And Taryn, you're conscious. Oh, that puts you at 3 points of exhaustion.
That means I have a disadvantage on.
Attack throws, attack abilities, and saving throws.
Well, Taryn just does one of these.
Oh, you aren't grappled anymore. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, boy.
Oh shit!
Man.
And he just freezes the entire half of the library.
She fails, but she's gonna use a legendary resistance to take half damage. So
What a bitch.
that guy only took 27, so she'll get
27.
she already only took 27. Oh, she is resistant? How much damage? Yes, she's resistant to that, so she took half, so she'll get another 14 back. Okay.
Wait, would I have noticed that she was resistant to it
Before?
when I hit her with the chain lightning?
I guess you probably would have. Yeah. So wait, it should have been halved and then halved. don't think I did that right. She took 27. No, that's right.
Yeah, that's
She was
right.
pretty low. Okay. Is that your turn? Sorry.
No.
What do you do? You're also prone to start your turn, but I'm guessing
Where
you
am
stood
I?
up. Oh, but you have
So-
half movement speed, so you only have like 5 movement speed right now.
Yeah, I'll get up, move to here. See how far away. That's too far away. I'll use my bonus action to try to recharge my breath weapon.
Okay.
Nope. That's it for me.
Okay. She's not grappled. I don't know why she's still marked.
All right. She takes 10, 1d10, because she's still on fire.
Okay. She takes 2. She looks at all of you, confused, perplexed, surprised, and smiles. And she casts Dimension Door. And,
Somebody stop her.
and she
What?
Hold up.
On counterspell.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. 60 feet.
I think it's only 60. Yeah.
Damn.
As a wise wizard, she gets out of the range of your counterspell and Dimension Door. And poof, she is out of here. Osner, it is your turn.
Fun. I guess I'll just I'll bonus action heal. So that's a 1d8. Okay, so plus 5. So that's 16. I'll come over here and I'll hit this guy. Be on top of him. He catches on fire as well. Man. Two.
Ooh.
Alright.
Damon, you are still disconnected from reality. You're just watching this unfold. The Shadow Dancer is dead. Veyroll, you're up.
Yep. I think I'm at exhaustion 1. Yeah. So I'm gonna take my 30 feet, and I'm gonna try to get a health potion in Damon here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
Oh, Damon's
he's
dead.
dead.
Oh, he's dead? Health potion doesn't do anything?
Correct.
Okay. Wow, goddamn. I play a lot of D&D, can you tell? So, I'm closer to this other jabroni, so I'm gonna see if I can do some shit to him. If I used creation to create a massive block of stone over the soulmonger and dropped it on them, would that be a way to deal damage?
I don't think so. If the spell doesn't specifically say, like,
Yeah, it's not a damage
plus
dealing
it takes
spell.
a minute, I think, to cast.
Oh, you're right. I'm so bad. Let's see here.
You're all right.
Should I use an 8th level spell on this guy?
If you're looking for damage dealing spells, Synaptic Static does damage.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We gotta do something better than another Chrono Spike. Damon says the 8th level? Okay, yeah. Veyroll Unleashed? Alright, yeah, let's do it, because I haven't used this yet. Alright. So I'm gonna use Reality Break on this last Soulmonger out of spite and rage and honestly fear at seeing 2 of my companions fall dead at high-level D&D battles. So just as a
Okay.
way of
So he
feeling
makes-
powerful.
Makes what?
So I'm gonna cast it here. And if he makes a save, I'm gonna use my 10 Mishra mark to have them fail the wisdom save there.
Okay, so let's see what his wisdom is +7. So even with a 10, he gets a 17, but he still fails.
Cool. That's what we like.
Very close though.
And then the target must roll a d10 at the start of its turn. It's gonna have some shit happen to it. That's a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll take 6 d12 psychic damage and it will be stunned.
Okay. Isolde.
Yeah, I'm gonna revivify Damon.
Classic. It has only been a few rounds, so you're good.
Yeah. Cool. Alright. Let me cast that. I'm gonna have to upcast it. I think I'm gonna have to upcast it 5th level. I'm at a 3rd and 4th. Okay. Revivify. Fuck.
Boom. Damon comes back.
Alright, and then my bonus action, I can move my spiritual weapon 20 feet and attack with it. This bitch is exactly 20. Oh, fuck, he's near. These squares are bigger. Oh. Wait. Why is that 20 feet? It's 3 squares because it's diagonal.
Because it's diagonal.
Damn.
In Foundry, you can do it where it alternates so that you can't just like move extra distance at diagonals like you can in Roll20.
Alright, well, I will vaguely threaten him with my weapon then.
Cool. Damon, first of all, you see her reach down. You've seen her do this before with other people, bring them back to life. The diamonds she consumes to cast the spell pull your soul back into your body. Do you accept?
I do.
Very cool. Isolde, in the casting of this spell, you have a bit of an epiphany. Previously, when you've cast Revivify, when you have resurrected people, the gods made you roll a dice as to whether or not you successfully could bring back your friend.
Right.
In the absence of the weave and the influence of these divine beings with their realms severed from the material plane, you recognize that this limitation is no longer in place. You can bring back anybody whenever you want.
Shit. Okay.
The arbitrary limiting of who you can bring back was not a factor of reality itself, but another one of the rules put in place. This one by
Well,
Amad
gonna-
himself.
Keep Isolde up at night. Cool.
The Soulmonger has reality break for himself, visions of the far realm. He takes 6d12 psychic damage. Feel free to roll that for me.
Gladly.
You see as this magic sort of flies through the air and fills the mind of this soulmonger, and it sort of like animates his body slowly as he like dances around, writhing in this sort of extra dimensional experience, and he looks at you and laughs.
What?
But is stunned. He is immune to psychic damage.
Wow.
As this shit does not scare him. He's seen it all. But he is stunned while he's experiencing this vision. Taryn, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm going to hobble towards... Actually, I'm going to use my bonus action and just chug one of the potions.
Sure.
How much do they do since they're not on my inventory?
Oh, I don't know. What was the potion you gave him, Isolde?
Greater healing.
what that is.
44
That's
plus
I think
4.
it's 44 plus 4.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to roll that. Isolde, did you mark getting rid of that potion and then also mark getting rid of the 2 sets of diamonds?
Yes.
Cool.
So I get 18.
Nice.
72. Then I'm going to hobble towards this guy and just chuck a ray of frost at him.
Cool. Oh, you were targeting her too. That's fine.
No, that's not
Oh.
fine.
I'll bring her back so you can untarget her. Sorry for that.
Trying to kill me. I thought we were friends.
Alright.
Okay. Taryn hits the soulmonger. She is gone. Bosner, you are up.
Okay. It's clobbering time.
Wait, did I skip the soulmonger's turn? Oh no, he was stunned. Very well.
You have
Okay.
advantage.
I have advantage?
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
stunned. It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time. Alright. And then he takes another... Oh, and then, you know what? I'm gonna do... something that Investiture of Ice allows me to do. Where's my... Where's my... Spellbook. Nation. Okay. Man.
Yep. He takes more ice damage.
So he's on fire, and he's frozen. He's icy hot.
Okay, Damon, you are conscious and prone.
I immediately, like, in a frenzy, like, jump up with, like, my sword at the ready, like I'm ready to slash the first thing I see.
Yeah, and as you
And
jump
then-
up, you feel your mechanical nature like super lagged and slowed. You are at half movement speed.
And then I look around and see, like, a lot has happened in a very short amount of time. And let's see, how many people are left? Just one?
Yep.
Okay, I misty step over behind this guy.
Okay.
And I will hit him.
Cool. Yeah,
And is he still alive?
he is. It is
I-
psychic.
I call on the last of my power reserves to action surge.
Oh. And what does it look like when you kill the soulmonger?
It looks like it is literally all I have left to just bring the sword down one more time. And it's a really pathetic kill, actually. It's just like chops his throat, and then I almost fall over with him.
all witness Damon slaying this creature in a point of pure exhaustion. And you find yourselves in the main hall, silent, as the combat comes to an end. You don't know where that wizard got off to. She seems to be long gone now. You don't have much time, but you are all alive.
For now. Can I send a message to Lyra immediately?
Yes. You just ask for the coordinates, and she just immediately reads off, like, almost like a series of numbers that would translate to Varel to a coordinate system that he could draw in a teleportation circle.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Varel, you begin casting teleportation circle to this particular set of coordinates given to you by Lyra. I want all of you to roll a d6. Oh, I love that it puts a little circle.
I'm going to consume the incense and whatnot as well.
Oh,
Can I start healing Damon?
yeah. I'll say you guys have a few rounds here while Varel's casting that. I think teleportation circle takes...
Teleportation shock,
Like-
and I have 3.
Yeah, no, I mean it takes 1 minute to cast. So you have 10 rounds while you are waiting for this to go.
Would I be able to consume potions while I cast?
I would say no. I think you're dedicated to the casting.
Fair enough.
Time passes as Varel does this, slowly casting the spell, but meticulously doing it without making a single mistake so that it is as efficient as possible. With the last 2 rounds, last 12 seconds of him writing it, you begin to hear more footsteps coming down the hall. But as they reach the room, the spell completes, and you are able to traverse through it. Do you all go through?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You all jump through the portal and end up back. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's have that. You all end up back here. To Lyra, who smiles as you come through. I knew you'd make it. And you see, even as you're like coming out of the portal, she immediately goes to the chalk and starts covering it up. Like she's wiping it clean so that nobody else can use that coordinates to get through the portal. And you see her like pull out her notebook and scratch off another set of coordinates. Well, that one we shouldn't use for a long time. How did you fare?
Very well, to a point.
Very good. I'm sure Marin will love to hear everything you have to tell him. It was a dangerous mission for sure, but I'm sure you all learned valuable information, and we'll have some way of pursuing something to set this world right. I'm glad to see you all made it back. She looks over and you can see how damaged Damon is looking, with like bits of his armor sort of sparking. Terran looks half zombified, his skin sort of still clearing up, and Isolde bleeding from a lot of places. You all look like shit, like you just went through the ringer, but you're all together in one piece. Powerful. And you all level up.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Wow.
Amazing.
It's been like years since we've leveled up, right?
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, well, I think this is a decent. I mean, we don't. Laurel, you said you have to go about now.
We had plans and then canceled them, so.
Nice. Well, I don't necessarily mean to cut us off here. If you guys want to do any more stuff, that's cool. I don't have any more, like other than RP stuff. I don't have anything else planned. But it sounds like you guys might want to go to your room and talk by yourselves for a while.
I think that's the plan, yeah.
Okay. Well, Lyra sort of says, rest up, and if you need anything, let me know. Humphrey is out and about, and Marin is with him, so they shall be returning soon, I imagine. Get some rest. You look tired. And she goes back and starts just tending to her research and her other things, as you guys are free to move around. Your bedroom, by the way, is down here. We've sort of down. Where's my marker? Down here. We've sort of established.
John, would I know of any place to get diamonds in our current existence?
You would know that marketplaces and places of that normally just sell things would sell them. You also know that most of civilization has collapsed, so that's going to be a problem. Marin might have some, but if he doesn't, the only place that you know is sort of a standing civilization that might have something like that is maybe Mirabar, maybe
Okay.
Waterdeep, which you know to still be standing, even though they sort of swore over allegiance to the Shadowvar once they invaded. So yeah, hostile territory might have them.
We could ask our dagger friend.
Yeah, I thought when we had all that money and spent it that I bought a shit ton of diamonds.
Yeah.
But maybe I just didn't write it down. I don't know. I could go back and listen to it, I guess.
Yeah, you might want to make sure, get that stuff straight. I could help too. If I can look up and see if I have anything in my notes.
How do you level up on Foundry?
What we're gonna do is I'll just have you level up in D&D Beyond, and then any new feature you get, I'll import it for you. I'll find a way to do it.
If I already did it on my Foundry character feed, is that okay?
That's totally fine.
Because
Yeah.
all I get is a 7th level spell slot and a new spell, anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
Oh.
totally fine. Basically, everybody can do it however they feel comfortable. The best way to do it to make sure you don't like break anything is just do it on D&D Beyond, and whatever it says you get, add that to your character sheet in Foundry, and then ask me if you have any questions. Level 16. Who would have thought?
We made it.
You can't improve your score past 20, an ability score past 20 with feats, right?
Yeah, not with ability scores or feats. That requires a special like manual book or a god boon or something. Or a
Gotcha.
magical dagger that fucks with you.
Or Barbarian level 20.
Right, yeah, there are some class features that give it. I am gonna be right back. One second.
Okay.
Guys, I'm rattled. In and out of character.
No shit.
That was a gnarly fight. Like, just because we're coming in one at a time.
I just got fucking Avada Kedavra.
Yeah. For now, let's rethink cleric comes in last.
Smart.
I mean, cleric shouldn't come in first, because if I had died first, y'all would be fucked.
It's true. I don't have that many diamonds. So.
I was real scared there, guys. According to my character sheet, I was only able to bring back 3 people. So now we're down to 1.
Well, I contribute about nothing in combat, so if I fall and die, like that's fine. We'll get another time wizard in here, and it'll be fine.
Perfect. I'll sell
We'll
your
just
body for
roll it on.
diamonds.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm sure that cloak is worth something.
Yes.
We are level 15 going up to level 16, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Man. High level shit.
No.
Oh, I have the option to take a feat? Oh, man.
My note document, I don't think I've ever had an entry as long as I have for this one. It's almost like 2 full pages.
Nice.
So much lower. So how loyal are y'all to your marked gods?
That's a loaded question.
I think Terran's reacted with Bahamut like once, so
This is my lifelong sworn devotion.
Yeah, I'm literally centuries of commitment.
Only source of personal value.
Yep.
yeah. No, I think
Rosner's been on the fence with the gods anyway. So
Terran's just like riding the fuck Asmodeus train. So if that means betraying the gods, that's fine as long as we kill the devil.
That
Cute.
works.
I feel no affinity for mine, though I don't have any hate for him either.
Feels appropriate.
It's a good
Just
true
for-
neutral reaction.
For most of my 1500 years, people have been my gods.
You know, ain't that the truth for the rest of us?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Primus coming in 1500 years later being like, I'm your dad and you have to listen to me. I don't know that. I don't know that I agree with that.
You're not my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
Please don't hurt us.
You're not my real dad.
You're not my real dad.
You guys are
Heard it.
safe. You guys made it back. Good job. God, if you guys had rolled like 6 ones there, or 5 ones there at the end. Woo!
Yeah.
We would have been even deader.
She would have come back on a fucking... on Seftis. Which you know to be that giant-ass fucking dragon. The big shadow dragon that killed all of your squad leaders.
We can take him.
I think the real question is, what bonuses would I get if I kill him?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's a good question. You bring back Sardior, Terran kills him, absorbs him.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
You become the dragon god of creation.
He becomes the god of all gods.
What an arc for Terran.
I think having someone with
Yo.
10 intelligence and 10 wisdom is exactly who we want to be in charge.
and then Terran uses that power to just kill Asmodeus, and then is like, okay, I don't really want it anymore. Like, I just need
Alright, I'm out. Yeah.
I do want to say that I am sort of presenting arcs from the perspective of characters within, so you kind of know what Marin wants, you know what Larlock wants. I do want to suggest that y'all are, this is high level D&D, y'all are in control, and you can tell me what path you want to try. Sort of already hinted that, like, y'all can go rogue, you don't have to team up with anybody. You can pursue whatever means, and I'll say that with the amount of time you had to research in that library, you could devise your own strategy for all of this. Also, both of the plans that were outlined did not involve saving any of the people who have already died. This is all moving forward. So your families, cities, civilizations, all those people who perished during the invasion, they are all staying dead on both of those models proposed to you.
Interesting.
Don't like that.
Hypothetically, if one were to become a god and create their own plane, could I create a plane that is like a replica of Icewind Dale and bring my family there?
Here's the tricky part. If they died and their souls are in an afterlife, then you wouldn't be able to get their souls back if you disconnected those planes that the current gods are in.
Not
You
even
could
if I
create
went on like a
philosophical
soul raid?
zombies of them that are.
Yeah, you could make imitations of them,
Perfect.
but they wouldn't be the real ones.
You're not real, man.
Nice.
Whoa.
Fucking got me.
Dr. God. He's been got.
I'm like
Gosh.
legitimately overwhelmed with the freedom of options we have at our disposal. It's so easy to be like, this is my goal, and so that's just going to influence all of my decisions. They're already made in a sense. Just do what Mr. wants. But now that that's not like guiding my compass, I don't know. It's spinning all over. I don't know what the hell to do.
Oh. Mister's that bitch now.
Really though.
Vosner's like, I knew it. Can't trust him. Never trust him. The gods, man, they're just too big, just like the government, man.
Final arc is a QAnon conspiracy.
No! That's the I'll kill all of your characters permadeath.
Vosner's just in the back, like, smoking elf root. It's like, listen, man, we've been through some shit, man. It's all connected.
That's allowed. And it is all connected. And it is kind of a conspiracy. So that checks out.
Bane's just like pretending to be evil to get on the inside, you know?
And does Bane look like, does he have like a mask over his mouth, and is he like really buff?
No? Oh, I get what you're saying. No. He's not like the Batman Bane. He's like a god, an evil god, who
don't
gave
know, I
all of his
imagined him to
power
be
to
Batman Bane.
an arch lich.
Ridiculous.
Oh, man. You know, I'm for real rattled, John.
Hey, thanks.
In game and out of game.
We finally killed Damon. The key
know.
is a spell that's just stupid broken.
Just a flash of light, and everything went dark. I considered taking a level in fighter instead, just to get myself up over 100 HP. But
I mean, you might as well just take the tough feat.
yeah, I can do that next level, I think.
Might be
Yeah.
worth it.
We're so high level now that I took the ability score improvement for Constitution and increased my health by almost 30 health.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
I think I went from 108, well, I guess not 30 health, more like 20 health. I went from 108 to 131.
Yeah. It would increase it by, well, 16, because that's how many levels you are, plus your actual level up bonus. So, well, it's 15 plus your con, plus your character roll, whatever. Yeah, so you would have gone up about 23 HP or something. And tough just does double that. But getting your con higher is good too, because then that also gives you +1 to your save, which is useful.
John, did you mention a feat last week when I mentioned upping my dex to get my AC up, or am I misremembering?
I said you could get a feat instead. If you can choose between an ASI or a feat. That's usually like the at a certain level. 16, I think, is the level you get to choose between two. And
Ooh.
feats have bonuses. Some of them are half feats, which means they give like +1 to a stat and then something else. And some of them are just straight up something. Like Missile used to have the sort of like the feat where he could remember anything that happened.
Yeah, good times.
Let's
I
see.
miss that little guy.
You right now, one of the feats you have is Resilient Constitution. We got you that when you built your character, which means that you have proficiency in con saves.
Gosh.
It's one of the best ones for high level casters.
Ooh, we got dragon feats.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you take a feat that, or you want to talk about feats or whatever, let me know.
Yeah.
We can chat about them. Some of them are trickier to do, and some of them have weird interactions. So just want to make sure you know what you're getting, and we can homebrew some shit if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little more loosey-goosey these days with the rules.
Well,
I'm into it.
Yep. Well, we're high-level
high level,
D&D now.
man.
I can hit you with 9th level spells and kill you instantly, and you guys can still win the fight.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, I detected an act of mercy in having the general kind of nope
Are you
out of there.
kidding me? She was at
Maybe
like
we could go to her,
15 health or something.
Yeah, like
And
what
she only had one ad left, and there were like 3 or 4 of you up. Like, and she just saw Terran like literally blow up half the room.
This is true.
Terran's scary. Unfortunately, Varel does psychic and necrotic damage, which it appears after some testing that these creatures are, or at least these particular type of agents, are immune to. So
It's not good.
Varel's gonna have to change up his spells a little.
Yeah. So the other reality break effects, 3 through 10, were force damage or cold damage. So I had a 1 out of 5 chance of being useless, and we hit it.
I mean, the stun was still helpful.
Yeah, it didn't say anything. You know, I didn't see anywhere it was like immune to stuns. So it was like, ah, fuck it.
Yeah. Plus, still cool to watch Varel unleash.
Yeah, I like that. All things considered, it was a pretty cool fight.
The whole coming in one at a time thing
Really?
really
Yeah.
messed us up.
Game changer.
Yeah, maybe that was too cruel.
No, I love it.
Yeah,
Never change.
It was pretty fun. I was like, oh shit, they might just all 4 kill somebody, and then the next person comes through, and then they kill them, and then the next person, you know. Luckily, you sent Damon first, who honestly just like tanked 2 rounds basically before getting one shot by that spell when she realized she wasn't gonna get anywhere without using that.
Mm-hmm.
She had to pull out the nuclear option for the scary ass robot.
You
Yeah,
learned-
who is going to have PTSD now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, Varel, maybe you should go first.
damage sponge, it would fit.
You can do some weird time shit if something goes wrong.
Yo, this is true. Like that's the only place I do come in clutch is with rerolls or deciding if they pass or fail. But that's a rare occurrence.
Yo, I thought I had the resources. I knew I still had Fortune's Favor, I had Shield, I had Counterspell, but wasn't ready for the light.
Yeah, and it's a 9th level spell, so you could if you counterspell it, you would have had to roll an Arcana to beat it. But
Yeah.
So, do your characters chat before they long rest, or what is your plan here? Did you want to do that in this session, or wait till next? Or
I'm good either way.
Yeah, if you guys want to continue, I think we're good over here. Maybe. So.
If somebody tried to talk to Damon, he would probably talk to them, but otherwise he's probably going to try and silently just go rest up.
okay,
That's fair. Taryn
well,
would just collapse into a bed.
feel free to, if you have any other questions throughout the week, feel free to hit me up, and I'll try to help you figure. I just want to stress that like your characters can pick their own path, but there are at least two paths laid out before you, and your characters could discern multiple others if you want. And you don't have to commit to one path or the other, insofar as, but as long as I know what direction you're going for the next session, that'll help me prep it, because that is the other danger with high-level D&D. If you guys are just like, now we're gonna teleport to Chult, and I'll be like, give me an hour to make a whole bunch of maps and encounters for you. Anyways,
We won't do that to you.
Yeah. What are we planning for next week, just to get John some heads up?
oh yeah.
I mean,
not
I
next
think
week, next session.
definitely some, inter-player role play, trying to figure out where we stand on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Seconded.
I think, to be honest, that's probably going to evolve as we go. Like, I know for Isolde, that's not a decision she's going to make in a day.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think no matter which direction we're going, we know that we're collecting these eggs. So probably the first thing to do is do a bunch of research on that bitch that just tried to kill Damon and Taryn, because Isolde would like to take her out of existence.
Sure.
That's cool. Yeah.
You would
So the
know
plan-
from your list that she is the one of the head researching wizards of the Shadowvar, and she normally resides in the giant flying city that hovers above Mostar. And that is also where Shar sits on her throne.
Okay, so maybe not like the first place we should go.
I mean, you guys
We should probably try to draw them out rather than frontal assault on the place with all 5 of them and a god.
Yeah, just
Yeah. So I guess step 1 is research and come up with a strategy for, I don't know, eliminating these generals one by one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
are we going to play again next weekend?
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think
So
like
the 22nd then.
That I can do.
Do it.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. This also might be a good week for a fireside chat. Maybe I'll write up the questions.
Yeah, bro, I got no time.
Yeah, no worries. I'll think of something and I'll send them out to the group. And thanks for playing, everybody. And yeah, hit me up if you have questions.
Thanks
Thank
for
you as always. Love you guys.
Yeah, good session.
Super fun.
I'm glad
Bye.
we all made it.
Yeah.